Hey there! I am embarrassed to show you the state of my tomato patch, but we've really got to do something about it. Over the last few weeks, I have let the garden get totally away from me. I've been busy with other things, and my tiny little tomato plants that I started from seed have turned into giant monsters that I have yet to stake up. And so let's just go take a look at the situation. I have got to bring the tomato patch under control, and I am going to do it today. This is my tomato jungle. All of these monstrous plants were started from seed. I mean, it feels like yesterday. Granted, it was a couple months ago, but look at this. And of course, I got them in the ground and then we're teeny tiny. And we've had such a very strange spring that we'd have cold, freezing weather one day and then 90 degrees, I mean, seemingly the next day. So it was a little bit touch and go protecting them for a while. And all of a sudden, I mean, I've even got huge, beautiful tomatoes that are just waiting to turn ripe. All of these beautiful tomato plants are just slouching on the ground, the poor darlings, because I didn't stake them all up when I first planted them. And I really need to do it. So let's go ahead and tame this tomato jungle. I'm going to do this with stakes and twine because I think it's the most efficient and safe way for these poor plants to get them tamed and support them now that they've already gotten this big. Here is one lucky tomato plant that I actually had a large tomato cage for, and you can tell it's the one that's standing nice and upright, and it's pretty happy about it. But even still, I need to thin that one out a bit because it's pretty dense in the center there. All right, let's tame a tomato jungle. First of all, we're going to need some heavy-duty stakes and some pretty tall ones because tomatoes grow huge. So let's go grab some stakes. Now, all right, this is about the size we need. Let's take these down to the garden. Next. All right, we've got a nice pile of stakes now. Let's go grab the post banger thing. Ready? All right, do you want me to throw this? Nice catch. This is the old sheep house, so we've turned it into a garden shed. So this is where I store some tools like, what's the real name for it? I call it the post banger thing. This heavy monster, this will help make sure we get those stakes nice and deeply into the ground. Thank you. All right, this is where we're going to start our row. We're going to do 2 long rows going down the hill and do 2 long rows of tomatoes. And we're going to tie these up with twine once we've got some really strong stakes in. All right, here we go. Hi, cutie. This is so ungraceful.
And it's going to be loud.
And it's going to be loud. Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's loud. All right, we've still got a little ways to go. All right, let's do a few more. We want this really good and deep in the ground. We want the little footstep and things anchored and buried because once tomatoes set fruit, they're heavy. All right, let's do 5 more. You ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, right, I think that's gonna stay.
Wait, let me see inside of it.
You want to see inside of it? It's like a big hollow tube. Yeah, see?
I'm gonna find.
Yeah, there might be a spider in it. You never know. It's been sitting in the garden shed. And then this side is really heavy to help us bang things down. All right, we've got about 20 more of these to do. Let's go. Okay. Let's just stop and admire this beautiful honeybee on this beautiful milkweed. We keep as much milkweed as we can in the garden for the monarch butterflies.
Wow! I saw the different kind of one.
You're right, lots of pollinators love this stuff.
I'm taking videos of birds.
You are. She's a good girl, isn't she? All right, we are back in the tomato patch. It's the same day, but the day's gotten really hot, so I've shed a layer, and now that I've got all of my stakes pounded, I am out here stringing up the vines. And all you do is take some heavy-duty hemp twine. Another thing that works really well is if you've got critters and you buy hay or straw, save the baling twine. That's actually my favorite thing to use, is just leftover baling twine. It's strong, it's ugly, tie the pieces together, and they do a really great job for this, and it's just a way to save a little bit of extra on your gardening costs. Anyway, so you just need some kind of a strong string or twine and tie it to the end stake, and then weave back and forth between the tomato vines and the stakes, making sure to go around each stake a full time. Let's see where I found my end. I'm just unraveling my twine here. This is twine that I've used for 2 other projects, but I save it and use it until it gives out on me, and then go get some more if I have to. Alright, here's my end. I'm just going to tie the pieces together, and you just want to make sure to go around each stake so that it's you want the twine kind of crossing over itself so that it's a weave back and forth, and it really does a great job of tying up the tomatoes. It's an inexpensive way to get the tomato plants up off the ground, make it so that they're getting a lot more ventilation and air movement through the plants. It helps cut down on disease and just makes it a lot easier to garden and walk through your tomato patch without stepping on the plants. Keeping tomato plants up and off the ground is always just a better way. And so here we are, just weaving these plants back and forth. And just do your best. You're not going to get every single branch on the first go round. Just work on getting the framework. You can tell I've got my phone propped up in a tomato plant right now because my videographer is 7 years old and she still takes a quiet time, and I'm working hard out here in the garden while the kids are taking a little break. So just go back and forth in between the tomato plants. Do your best. The basic idea is to get the bulk of the plant tied up in between that weave, and then you can go back afterwards and tuck in any little straggler branches that didn't make it into the original weave if you feel like you've got some branches that are kind of getting away from you all over the place. It's easy to do that afterwards. Well, it is not perfect, but you'll see it is a big improvement over where we stood this morning. The plants are all tied up. We've got a nice zigzag going back and forth. There's plenty of layers of twine to be able to tuck in any extra growth as these plants continue to grow over the season. And the tomato patch is looking a lot better than it did a couple hours ago. Feeling good about it. All right, now babies, ripen. I am excited for tomatoes. Hey, cutie. Oh, who's a good boy? This is Kona. He's a good boy, but Can I just take this chance to publicly shame my cat? This guy, I was last night giving him a little scratch behind the ears before bed while he was having a midnight snack, and a mouse ran right across his feet. We have had such a mouse problem in our house lately. A mouse ran right across his feet, and you know what this cat did? He pretended he didn't see that mouse. He just kept on chowing down on his cat chow and just ignored that mouse. He was so intent about ignoring it and making sure I knew. What mouse? No mouse here. I didn't see anything. Did you see anything? And so I just bought a 6-pack of mouse traps because this cat is not doing his job. How's that for public shaming? You're still a good boy and I still love you. I know you like quiet time. You always come find me in the garden.